The last sunset of the year slipped quietly behind the snow-covered rooftops of Maple Street, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and gray. At the end of the block stood a small blue house with white trim, old, but still standing strong, much like the woman inside it. Eleanor Whitman, 78 years old, sat in her favorite armchair by the window. A knitted blanket rested on her knees, and a mug of lukewarm tea sat untouched on the side table. Outside, neighbors were hanging lights, laughing, and carrying boxes of food into warm homes filled with family. Eleanor watched silently. New Year's Eve used to mean something different. Years ago, the house would be full, music playing, her husband Frank grilling burgers in the snow, like a stubborn Midwestern tradition, their children running in and out with sparklers. At midnight, Frank would kiss her forehead and whisper, "Another year, Ellie, we made it." Frank had been gone for 9 years now. Her children lived far away. California, Texas, busy lives, busy calendars. They called when they could. Sometimes, tonight, Eleanor's phone sat face down on the table. She told herself she didn't care. Still, she checked it every few minutes. At 8:45 p.m., there was a knock at the door. Eleanor frowned. No one ever knocked anymore. Carefully, she stood, her knees protesting, and opened the door to find a young man holding a small paper bag. He looked nervous, maybe mid-20s, bundled in a winter coat. Hi, he said. "Sorry to bother you, Mom. I'm Noah. I live 2 houses down." Eleanor blinked. "Yes? The community center had extra New Year's dinner boxes for seniors. I was volunteering and saw your name on the list." He held out the bag. "I hope that's okay." For a moment, Eleanor couldn't speak. She hadn't signed up for anything. Or maybe she had and forgotten. Her throat tightened anyway. "That's very kind," she said softly, taking the bag. "Thank you." Noah smiled, relieved. "They're doing a little gathering at the center tonight too. Nothing fancy, just music, soup, and a countdown. If you'd like to come." Eleanor hesitated. The old, familiar voice in her head whispered, "Don't bother. You'll feel out of place." But another voice, quieter, braver, answered back. "What time?" she asked. The community center smelled like coffee, cinnamon, and old memories. A small group of seniors sat around folding tables, some chatting, some quietly watching the clock. Paper decorations hung a little crookedly, but they tried. Eleanor took a seat beside a man with silver hair and a Vietnam veteran cap. "Name's Harold," he said. "First New Year out of the nursing home." "Eleanor," she replied. "First New Year out of loneliness. I hope." Harold chuckled. "Hope's a good start." As the night went on, stories began to spill about lost spouses, grown children, missed chances, and small victories. Laughter mixed with tears. At one point, Eleanor found herself laughing harder than she had in years. At 11:59 p.m., the room grew quiet. A volunteer counted down. 10, 9, 8. Eleanor closed her eyes. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Cheers filled the room. Someone popped cheap confetti. Eleanor felt a tear roll down her cheek. Not from sadness this time, but something gentler. Her phone buzzed. She looked down. Incoming call. "Daughter." Susan Eleanor answered with shaking hands. "Mom," Susan said, voice thick with emotion. "I'm so sorry I haven't called enough. I didn't want another year to start without telling you how much I love you." Eleanor smiled through tears. "Happy New Year, sweetheart." As she hung up, Harold raised his paper cup. "To making it," he said. Eleanor lifted hers too. "To making it," she echoed. Outside, fireworks cracked softly in the distance. For the first time in a long while, Eleanor didn't feel forgotten. She felt seen. She felt alive. And as the new year began, Eleanor realized something simple and powerful. Life hadn't ended quietly with the years. It was still ringing, like a bell, waiting for someone to listen.